My name is Kara Engelhart.
Skip Harsh.
Sarah McNamee.
Beth Connors.
Vicky Slade.
Thomas Andrukowitz.
Taylor Worth.
David Crochet.
Sam Grayson Brinker.
Ashwin Patek.
Travis Torrance.
Tom Pack.
Preston Mitchum.
Lindsay Adams-Hess.
Jamar Walker.
Jorge Tenrero.
Elliot Mogul.
Moses Suarez.
Maureen Holland.
Matthew Wilson.
Jason Lee.
Catherine Zuno-Freeney.
Chadwick Spieler.
Alejandra Caraballo.
Being a part of the LGBTQ+ community means having a responsibility for each other. While the community is large and diverse, we share a struggle.
We learned from those who came before us, those who fought for this very moment, who taught us about the complexity of social issues and the importance of active engagement.
Being proud of the victories we have achieved so far, while being ready and committed to continue doing the work we still have ahead of us.
It also means that I've got a responsibility. It's a responsibility to continue to fight in an unwavering manner for the rights and for the dignity and the equality of our entire community.
I have the privilege to belong to a beautifully diverse community that's united by love, resilience, and solidarity to fight for the voices of the marginalized.
We know what being queer has meant in this country and across the world for so long. For so long it has meant violence, it's meant discrimination. And even as it's meant all of those things, one thing that we're finding and that I'm personally finding is that it also means liberation. It also means joy.
Being a leader in the profession means speaking up
and showing out.
I stand with Black Lives Matter because none of us is free until all of us are free. My freedom as a gay man to live in the world is tied up in the freedom of Black people to live freely without fear of state violence and pervasive systemic racism.
Things have got to change. Our society is inequitable.
Because nobody deserves to suffer abuse of any kind or be disadvantaged in any way because of a characteristic that is part of their humanity.
Black Lives Matter should not be a political issue. It's a human issue.
The conversations are not going to die down. The peaceful protests are not going to stop.
Because Black Lives Matter. Because I want to be an ally to those who are fighting for the equality, dignity, and respect that they deserve.
I am Black. I have experienced firsthand what that means, to be thought of as less than, or to be perceived as a threat simply because of the color of your skin. We must end the brutality, the strife, and the struggle. Our lives matter.
Our trans sisters of color who started our movement need their white trans brothers to be allies. The entire BIPOC community needs us to be allies.
Each and every day, it's our obligation as attorneys to do our part in ensuring a more just and equitable world.
If you're neutral in this situation of injustice, you've chosen the side of the oppressor.
It's time to take action.
Lift up our Black and brown family.
To fight that system of oppression in every way, to ensure that every American, whether Black or gay or trans, is treated with dignity and respect.
It's important that we use our voice. It's important that we're not silent. It is important that we know that silence equals violence for so many communities. It's why I speak up every time that Black women, both cis and transgender, are killed. It is why I always want to make sure that boards that are talking about Black Lives Matter actually reflect Black people on their board. It is why I want to make sure corporations go beyond this performance that happens every single day. We need to speak up. We need to be consistent. We need to be cognizant in understanding what we're saying. And we need to push for liberation and freedom, right? Because we recognize that both queer people and both Black people and brown and other communities of color have been over-policed, over-criminalized, and it is up to us as lawyers, as progressive lawyers, as lawyers that actually want to see change happen, to continue to speak up every single day, because we need all of us consistently.
Time to realize that strength doesn't come from mythology about either ourselves and our history or where we are now. It comes from a willingness to look at ourselves and our history and know that we can and must do more to make this country inclusive, fair, and equitable for everybody in it.
To do the work on ourselves, our community, and our country.
It's time for action.
We change our system piece by piece until our Black friends and loved ones have the same shot at success as those of us who never have to think about the color of our skin.
It's time to do better.
We as allies of the Black community need to listen, just listen. We cannot truly love and support without listening first.
Stand up and speak out for what's right. And it's also time to take ownership of our profession and to make the leaders of our profession accountable.
It's time to stand in solidarity with our Black brothers and sisters. It is not enough to be not racist. We must be anti-racist. We must work to end the systemic racism that pervades the lives of all Black, brown, and indigenous peoples. Our liberation is bound together.
And we have more work to do in our profession.
I'm committed to ensuring that our profession is equitable, inclusive, and diverse. Join me.
Join me.
Join me.
We have a long way to go, but we can make these steps together.
This group of attorneys exemplifies what we look for when presenting this award. They are not only leaders in their fields, but they are leaders in the LGBTQ+ community. They come from corporations, law firms, nonprofit organizations, government agencies, and solo practices. Their dedication to equality is something to be admired and celebrated. It is with great pride that we recognize these outstanding individuals.